Not bad if you ask me, boys. Not bad. Hello everyone, hope you're all having a wonderful day. And today guys, we're going to be going over the fact that Blizzard just released a new hotfix for all the Helltide zones inside of Diablo 4. I'm pretty sure this hotfix was for both seasonal and the Eternal realms. I'm not sure about the Eternal because I'm only playing seasonal right now, but I would like to think this hotfix has been across the board. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it finally happened. They actually buffed how much living steel you can receive from the living steel chest within inside the Helltide zone. So now it has gone from 1 to 2 living steel that you can get inside of World Tier 3 Helltide, and now in World Tier 4 Helltides, the amount of living steel you get from the living steel chest has gone from 3 to 5. This is massive. And on top of that, you have a chance to receive double the amount of living steel from living steel chest as well. Before, it was just a teeny little bonus you would get in World Tier 4. You just got like an extra 2 living steel, which would mean you would get 5, and then you would have enough to actually go do 1 Grigor run. But that little bonus is so rare. I've done like 50, at least 50 plus living steel chests, and I have not seen this bonus whatsoever. But it is nice that now this bonus is going to feel a hell of a lot more rewarding when you get 5 extra in World Tier 4, and you get 2 extra, 1 or 2 extra in World Tier 3, but most people are going to be farming Helltides in World Tier 4, and you're going to be able to get double the amount, or have a chance to get double the amount. So you can see up to 10 living steel from 1 living steel chest. And this is really solid, because if you are lucky enough to get the bonus amount, that is literally 1 run of Duriel. Well, not exactly, you still have to get the Vashar materials, but if you can get 10 living steel, that's 2 runs of Grigor, which you should get 2 shards of agony, and then as long as you have 2 of the mucus slick eggs, there you go, you got 1 run of Duriel. That's actually really nice now. This is definitely a massive Diablo W.
But wait, there's more.
I know, on top of that, they decided to go an extra step further, and now every single other chest that you can put cinders into inside the Helltide zone now drops 1 living steel. So the mystery chest and all the other tormented chests, the ones that you get all your armor piece, your amulets, and your weapons from, all of these chests are now going to drop 1 living steel. So I think the meta now is going to be farm as much as you can to get as many living steel chests as you can, and then at the end of the Helltide, you can just farm a whole bunch of other cinders and go and hit as many of the regular tormented chests as possible, the ones that only cost 75 to actually open, because there's no point trying to save up for a mystery chest, especially if you're only looking for living steel. You're better off just putting 75 cinders into the small tormented chest, and you're always going to get living steel. So I think the meta now is just farm as many living steels as you can, and then the rest of the Helltide, you can just farm as many cinders to dump in as many of the other tormented chests as possible to net as many living steel extra as you can. So now we actually have more reason to stay in the Helltide zone for the full hour, opposed to us just farming all the living steel and then avoiding the Helltide like it was the fucking plague or something. But that's really what it was. It was just living steel or bust. You did all the living steel and then you just booked it out there as quickly as you could, because there was no point staying in the Helltide zone anymore, especially if you're level 100. So again, another fantastic change. It seems like Diablo's starting to take some W's. Who would have thought, ladies and gentlemen? So this means roughly on average, you should see 25 to 30 living steel in 1 hour of Helltide. Give and take that this is depending on how lucky you get with how many living steel actually spawn in one Helltide. Sometimes you can get screwed. Other times you can get really lucky, you get 5. I'm not obviously adding the bonuses into the equation, but if you can get a lot of the bonus drops from the living steel chest, you'd probably be able to get a hell of a lot more than 25 or 30 in 1 hour of Helltide. And also remember, it comes down to how efficient you are running Helltide. If you have a min-max build, you should have no issue with getting like at least 2,000 cinders, which should be plenty of cinders to at least get 30 plus living steel in 1 hour of Helltide. Sorry to drag this video on a little bit longer than it probably needs to be, but I would like to share 2 tips with you guys on how you can min-max your Helltide sessions. The first tip, and I feel like a lot of people probably know about this tip, is make sure you use the Hemomancy Vampiric power, because it is very strong at just nuking enemies all around you, taking enemies out from off screen when you are using an attack and when it procs every 4 seconds. This is just really good for builds that aren't min-max to just be able to bulldoze through Helltide just a little bit quicker. And the second tip, and I think this is a really big tip, and I'll be surprised to know how many people actually know this, for anyone that has alt accounts, if you have 2 accounts that can run Helltides in like World Tier 4, you can actually do this strategy. So what it is when you run Helltides with one of your characters, all the cinders will actually carry over to the next character, even if you just like log out and then log back into another character. Your cinders will always stay there until the Helltide is actually officially finished. So this is really good to maybe help level up other alts that might not be level 100 yet. You can just save up a whole bunch of cinders and have them ride around and just dump it into the living steel chest, and you get a shit ton of XP that way. But the other really cool thing, and this is the tip, is that when you farm one living steel, you can switch to the other character and you can refarm the same living steel chest. So technically, if you're super efficient, let's say if you have 4 living steel chests come up in one Helltide zone, if you're really efficient and can switch between characters while still getting cinders and all that kind of stuff, you'd be able to double your living steel. You'd be able to get 8 living steel in 1 hour of Helltide if there was only 4 living steel up, because you can just switch between the characters. I'm not sure if you could switch it between 3 characters. I would love to see someone try and get like 12 more or more living steel in one Helltide. That would be friggin' insane. But I think with 2 characters, it's going to be a hell of a lot viable, and you're not going to be trying to min-max your time to the absolute millisecond to make sure you get all these living steel. But that is a really cool tip, that you can switch to your ult and you can refarm the same living steel chest, and also your cinders. Any cinders you collect on one ult will still carry over to the other ult when you log in and go into Helltide, as long as you don't spend them. That is really cool as well, to then help other ults to level up or just refarm the same living steel chest. And of course, for anyone that still doesn't know, make sure you use Helltide.com as soon as the Helltide start, because then you will see if the chests are resetting, and you'll be able to see how much time you have before those living steel and mystery chests do reset. This is really going to help, because then you know you're only going to have like maybe 30 minutes to go out and farm like maybe 600 cinders to get the first chest before they reset, and then you just need to refarm as many cinders again and finish off the Helltide. I know it's probably well known to use Helltide.com, but I still see a lot of people on Reddit like ask how people find the living steel chests and stuff like that. Just use Helltide.com. It is really weird that the devs haven't added the living steel chest and the mystery steel chest on the maps for us. Like, they're not a mystery anymore, Blizzard, okay? We have Helltide.com. Just take Helltide.com and put it in the game. That simple. But I suppose the other negative there is if they did that, Helltide.com would become irrelevant, and I suppose maybe they don't want to do that and because everyone's using Helltide.com. I don't know, maybe they want to keep that ecosystem going for them because they're obviously playing ads and making revenue off there, but either way, it would be nice if Blizzard just implemented that into the game, or at least show us where the mystery chest and the living steel chest are, for God's sake. And I know I might have used a clickbaity title with this hotfix save season 2, but I really do feel like with this hotfix coming out and them buffing the living steel chests and giving us more living steel, it just makes the season now flow a hell of a lot better than it did before. So that's basically it for the video, guys. I really do think the Diablo devs did take a W today. They definitely took a W with buffing the living steel chest to give us more living steel. I think the best option in the long run is to make Helltides 24/7, but if they seriously cannot do that, I think the next best option is just give us more living steel from the living steel chest. I think most people are going to be happy with that. I still feel some people might be a little bit unhappy that they can't just make Helltide 24/7. Maybe it might come in the future, who knows, but at least they are working towards making sure we can get more of these boss materials to farm these bosses, to get all this cool loot and actually try out some of the uber uniques for yourself. Appreciate all the love and support as always, guys, and until next time, stay safe, peace out.